Greetings, my beautiful storyteller. I'm Will Kelly, and you are watching Tools for the Storyteller, where script analysis meets self-analysis. And this week we're talking the archetype of the prostitute. Everyone's got one, and everyone's been one. Welcome. So far we've been covering a range of archetypes and archetypal journeys, and hopefully it's starting to become clear that really they're all about personal development, personal empowerment, the human evolution, both as individuals and as a collective. And the lessons in life that are animated in an individual around the archetype of the prostitute are very much lessons around survival and negotiating aspects of one's inner self for the acceptance and the survival of the individual in their environment. As our personas strengthen based upon our interaction with our environment and the people within it, our family, our parents, our peer groups, as that strengthens, it becomes more and more apparent to us which behaviours are rewarded and which are punished or frowned upon or judged. And so we become more and more savvy about how to survive in our environment. And so at some point in our developing years, there comes a moment in everyone's life where they tell their first lie consciously in an attempt to negotiate some kind of security in the environment. For example, I remember the very first time I ever consciously told a lie to one of my parents, and it was to the parent that I craved to receive love from the most. And they were expressing very passionately an opinion on something, and I knew that if I didn't, at the very least, feign agreement, if not outright lie, then I ran the risk of being judged harshly, ridiculed, and rejected in some way. Now, as a small child, this may have been exaggerated in my mind, but certainly it was made clear that their opinion was the right one, and any other opinion that might be expressed would inevitably be the wrong one. So because I'm a small child and I'm depending on the adults in my environment to take care of me and love me and accept me and house me and all of those things, and I didn't want to lose that, I need to survive in the world, I told my first lie consciously. And in that moment, what happens the first time we consciously tell a lie, we have to reject aspects of ourselves, and we do that consciously for the first time, which for the first time in our experience consciously creates a crack, if you like, in the relationship between our inner self and our persona, the way we're presenting ourselves in the world. And these two aspects of our psyche and of our human experience start to separate more and more. And in between this space drop the secrets that we start keeping from the outside world that starts to formulate the shadow aspects of our nature. Now, every human being experiences this because every human being needs to survive. So chances are, if you were to give it some thought, you could probably think back to your childhood and remember the first time you ever consciously told a lie or withheld your truth because you were afraid of the repercussions of not doing so. And so once we start doing this in a conscious manner, then all kinds of other aspects of the human experience start to come into play. For example, the inner critic. It now becomes the job of the inner critic to give us a hard time anytime we may be in danger of aspects of our inner self spilling out of us into the world that in the past have caused us some kind of pain or judgment or humiliation or the threat of losing some aspect of our security in the world and our safety in the world. And as we keep going, more and more we start to identify more and more with our persona and our socially conditioned identity and move further and further away from our inner self. And so all human beings experience different periods in their life where they find themselves in the position of making the choice between a personal truth and expressing aspects of their inner self out into the world, or shutting that down and complying more with the environmental expectations of their social group, their peers, their family. And the stronger the inclination for us to do that, the more and more imperative it becomes as we develop to make sure that those aspects of our inner self don't leak out of us. Hence, we start sabotaging at different points in our life aspects of ourselves that may empower us as individuals, but in terms of our physical environment can cause us a lot of pain from rejection, judgment, and the tribe can see a lot of these inner aspects of ourselves as some kind of threat to it. So the inner prostitute is all to do with situations in your life that require you to negotiate aspects of yourself for external reward of some kind, and the degree to which you are willing to do that.